Everyone, welcome you all for the video lecture session on module 1 of your advanced calculus and numerical methods. So here in this module, the title of the module is vector calculus, the first module according to the syllabus, which is here vector calculus. And in this session, let us see an introduction and scalar and vector fields. So what is a scalar and vector fields are about? So if to every point x, y, z, so whatever the fields that we discussed in our vector calculus will be with respect to the three-dimensional geometry. So once there is a three-dimensional geometry, there will be a coordinates for x, y and z. So at any point x, y, z of a region R, then in the space, so space is in the space, there corresponds a scalar phi of xyz, then phi is called as a scalar point function. So for every point in a space, there will be a function which corresponding to that, then such a function is called as a scalar point function. And we say that as a scalar field, and it is going to be defined as, it will be the scalar field will be defined in the region R. So example is, phi is a function which connects the variables x, y, z. So you can write that an example as phi is equal to x square plus y square plus z square, and it can be xy plus yz plus zx also. So there are many examples. Any relation which happens between x and y and z can be given as an example for phi. And once it is a scalar field, a physical quantity which has only the magnitude but not the direction is called as a scalar. And here you can observe the function phi doesn't have any directions. So it is having only the magnitude. Therefore, it is a scalar field or scalar point function, we can say. So similarly, for every point x, y, z of a region R in this space, there corresponds a vector A such that it is a function of x, y, z. And then that vector A is called as a vector point function. In other words, it is also called as a vector field. And this vector field is defined in the region R. So example, so here you can see I, j, k. So I is always taken in the direction of x-axis, j is always taken in the direction of y-axis, and k is taken in the direction of z-axis. So a function which connects x, y, z along with the directions is called as a vector, and the function is called as a vector point function, and we also call it as a vector field. So let us see operators which we are going to use widely in this vector calculus. The vector differential operator, this is a symbol we have used, and we read this as nabla. And in some textbooks it has been defined as del also. And it has been defined as del also. So del is dou by dou xi plus dou by dou yj plus dou by dou z k cap. So del is represented as this, and which is equal to summation of dou by dou x I cap. So x changes to y and y changes to z, I changes to j and j changes to k. So which is the summation representation can also be used for del. Similarly, the Laplacian operator del square, which is defined as, so del dot del. So del dot del I can express here. So if you take del dot del, it is going to be del square. So it is dou by dou xi plus dou by dou yj plus dou by dou z k cap, this dot product with the same variable dou by dou xi plus dou by dou yj plus dou by dou z k cap. So we can do the dot product between these two vectors. So when we do the dot product, this I dot I becomes 1, j dot j becomes 1, k dot k becomes 1. Dou by dou x can becomes dou by dou x square. Similarly, dou by dou y square and dou by dou z square. And these three terms can be written in the form of a summation with the first term. So when we expand the summation, it is an addition of three terms where x is going to change, x will change to y will change to z. So that is how we can define the Laplacian operator del square. So now, so based on the del, we have three main quantities which we, the operations which we perform in vector calculus. One is the gradient, other one is the divergent, and other one is curl. So all the three parameters, all the three quantities use the concept of del. So gradient, let us see first one as a gradient, and this gradient is always operated on a scalar field. Therefore, it is a gradient of a scalar field. So gradient of a scalar field, if phi is a function of x, y, z and it is continuously differentiable scalar function, then gradient of phi will be represented as del phi, or we also write it as grad phi. In letters we can specify this as grad phi also. So grad phi is nothing but del phi. So this gradient is always operating on a scalar function. So what is this grad phi is? So you can observe grad phi is del phi. So del operating on phi. Del is nothing but dou by dou xi plus dou by dou yj plus dou by dou z k cap plus dou by dou z k cap. So this is operating on a function phi. So dou phi by dou xi, dou phi by dou yj plus dou phi by dou z k cap, and the same thing we have entered it here. And so this grad phi, this phi was a scalar quantity, but grad phi becomes a vector quantity. So you can observe once after operating the gradient, the scalar function, this phi of x, y, z has been changed to a quantity with the direction also. Therefore, it is going to be changing as a vector quantity. So remember, gradient of a scalar is always. Yeah, to continue, the another parameter or another quantity and another area where del has been used is a divergence. So divergence is always operating on a vector field. It cannot be on a scalar field, it is on a vector field. So remember, gradient is on a scalar and divergence is on vector. So consider a vector field A of x, y, z is a continuously differentiable vector function. Then divergence of this vector field is defined as del dot A. So observe the difference between grad phi and divergence. So there was no dot there. That was an ordinary multiplication, grad phi. So if you can remember, that was only del into phi. But here it is del dot phi. There is a dot product between there is a dot product between del and a vector A. So here vector A, let us consider in the form of a1i, a2j, a3, k cap. So I component, j component and k component, where a1, a2, a3 are all the functions of x, y, z. Then del dot A, del is nothing but dou by dou x I, dou by dou yj plus dou by dou z k cap. And dot product with vector A is a1i plus a2j plus a3 k cap. So when we do the dot product between them, so we get it as I dot I becomes 1. So I dot I is 1. Similarly, j dot j is 1 and k dot k is 1. Dou by dou x operating on a1 is dou a1 by dou x, dou a2 by dou y and dou a3 by dou z. So observe the final answer del dot A doesn't have any directions. So it has got only the quantities. So therefore del dot A results in an scalar quantity, whereas grad phi was resulting in a vector quantity, whereas this is resulting in a scalar. So remember, gradient operating on a scalar always results in a vector, and divergence operating on a vector results in a scalar. So advantage or an application of these two is, when a scalar function has been given, in order to convert into a vector, we need to operate grad on it. When a vector is being given and if it is asked us to find the scalar, then we have to find out whether we have to operate divergence on it. So that is how we have to we have to remember, and both the results are very, very important. The third important application is a curl of a vector field. So it has already name itself says curl is always operating on a vector. So consider a vector A of x, y, z, which is continuously differentiable vector function. Then curl of A is defined as del cross A. So now try to recall all the three. Grad phi, del phi, that is a normal multiplication. The divergence was dot product, del dot A. And the third is cross product, curl, del cross A, cross product of two vectors. Del is also vector, A is also a vector. So cross product of two vectors, how do we do? It is a determinant of first row will be ijk, second row will be the elements of a first vector, and the third row will be elements of the second vector. Similarly, here del is the first vector and A is the second vector. And vector A we have taken as a1i, a2j, a3, k cap, where a1, a2, a3 are all functions of x, y, z. Then curl A is defined as del cross A, which is I, j, k, first vector elements I element, j element and k element, and second vector elements a1, a2, a3. and the result of this will be a vector. So gradient of a phi, gradient of a scalar was a vector. Divergence of a vector was a scalar, but curl of a vector is a vector itself. So that is a beauty. You have to remember all the three cases very usefully, and you have to remember them thoroughly. So now let us have a few important points that we can consider as a note. So now Laplacian. Laplacian is nothing but del square operating on a scalar function. So if phi of xyz is a continuously differentiable scalar function, then Laplacian of phi is represented as del square phi, and it is defined as dou square phi by dou x square plus dou phi square by dou phi y square plus dou square phi by dou z square. So this is a Laplacian of phi. Similarly, if phi is a scalar function, then the equation del square phi is called as a Laplace equation, and a function which satisfies the Laplace equation is called as a harmonic function. So that you will be using all this harmonic function Laplacian in future. Even in the fourth semester, we'll be using this widely. So now there is another concept which we need to remember here, the directional derivative. As the name itself indicates, in the direction of a derivative. So in order to find the directional derivative of any function, so consider a scalar function phi of xyz, which we know it is a scalar, and vector d is the given direction. D may be any direction. You can take any small letters to represent a direction. So here d is being taken. Then grad phi dot n cap, where this n cap is vector d by modulus of vector d, which is called as the directional derivative of phi along n cap. So directional derivative of phi in the direction of vector d is given by grad phi dot n cap, where n cap is nothing but vector d by modulus of vector d. So these are the concepts which you have to remember. Basic concepts and the formulas you have to remember, and these we are going to use while working out the problems. So now let us see the first problem. Find the angle between the surfaces x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9 and z is equal to x square plus y square minus 3 at 2, minus 1, 2. So there are two surfaces given. This is a one surface and this is another surface. So very clearly both are scalar functions. Both are scalar functions. And it has asked us to find the angle between these surfaces. So if you can remember your vector calculus basics, what you have learned. So we know angle between the vector quantities. We can find the angle between the vector quantities. As of now, we doesn't know how to find the angle between the surfaces, that is the scalar quantities. So but here two surfaces have been given and asked us to analyze or find the angle between them. So as it is, we cannot find. So we have to convert these scalar functions to vectors. So how do we do? As I've already told you, if you operate a grad on a scalar, the grad of a scalar function results in a vector. So operate grad on this function. Operate grad on this function. So that both the scalar functions get converted to a vector. And later we can find the angle between those two vectors. So that is a procedure we are going to use. So now the angle between the surfaces is defined to be equal to angle between their normals. So that is what I told you. And we know that grad phi is a vector normal to the surface. So this is a surface and grad phi is going to be the vector normal to that. So we have the equations x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 9 and z is equal to x square plus y square minus 3. So consider your phi 1 and consider your phi 2. So take the first surface as phi 1 and the second surface as phi 2. So now we have to find grad phi. Grad phi by the definition, it is dou phi by dou x I plus dou phi by dou y j plus dou phi by dou z k cap. So let us consider the first function phi 1. So dou phi by dou x. Differentiation of x square is 2x. I cap is as it is. Now we have to find dou phi by dou y. Dou phi by dou y of this is 2y and j is as it is. Plus dou phi by dou z is 2z and 2 k cap. And for this function, we have the scalar function and we have to differentiate it with respect to x, y and z and substitute it here. So we get grad phi 2. So differentiation of x square is 2x, differentiation of y square is 2y and differentiation of z is 1 that is, if you take this z towards this side, it becomes minus z, and differentiation of which is 1, and differentiation of 3 becomes 0. So these are the two vector normals. So grad phi is nothing but the vector normals. So these scalars have been converted to a vectors. So now we can find the angle between them. At the same time, you can observe the given problem. So there is a point given where we need to evaluate the vector normals. So let us consider the point 2, minus 1 and 2. So grad phi at this, it means x is equal to 2, y is equal to minus 1 and z is equal to 2. On substituting those values in our grad phi 1 expansion, we get that as 2 into 2i minus j plus 2k cap. And grad phi 2 at the same point is 4i minus 2j minus k cap. And if theta is the angle between the normals, which is defined as cos theta is grad phi 1 dot grad phi 2 by modulus of grad phi 1 into grad phi 2. So substitute for them and you have to perform the dot product between these two vectors. So this one vector and this is another vector. When we do the dot product, I dot I becomes 1, j dot j becomes 1 and k dot k becomes 1. And we get 2 into 8 plus 2 minus 2. And the denominator is modulus of grad phi. So mod of grad phi is square root of sum of the squares of I component, j component and k component. So for the first one, grad phi 1, I component is 4i, so 4 square. Plus j component is minus 2 whole square, which is plus 4. And 4 square, which is 16. So this is also 16. So likewise grad phi 2 is from here 16 plus 4 plus 1. So we can simplify them and we get the value as 8 by 3 into square root of 21. So this is how we have to find the angle between the surfaces. So first we have to convert the surfaces to a vector normals. The grad phi, if phi is the surface, then grad phi is a vector normal, and we can convert both the surfaces to the vector normals, and then we can find the angle between the vector normals. So this is how we have to work out the problems on these things. In the upcoming sessions, we will discuss more about it. Thank you.